Hello, if you don't know me, I'm Patrick Tahara. I'm the chair of the property committee and working on the Living Waters campaign, or the project itself. So I'm here to give you a little update on the project. Definitely you have seen all of the improvements that we've been having in the last year and a half. Most of the work was actually completed back in the spring of this year, which had, if you were at the undercroft, the restrooms, and then all of the other things, such as the kitchen, the parish hall, the chapel. The chapel was completed around that time. All of the other things have been kind of continuing out till now, including our beautiful elevator that we thought we were going to have it working today, but after the third try, we have to kind of talk to our people and see what is going on. But definitely, if it was open, it's a beautiful interior of the elevator, and it actually goes up all levels, like we have that. In terms of the kitchen, that was actually a month and a half ago. It was fully operational. We've gotten the okay from the building department as well as the health department. And so as Kate Stout was talking about, we're working for Open Door Dinner. This is our second time we've actually worked in the kitchen. Our first time was actually in November, December, and then going off to the new year, we will be working in there, but maybe not working in the parish hall. We'll be working in other parts of the parish. But other than that, we are almost done. The last thing that the last couple of things that we're still working on is the landscaping that Khaki Logan is working on with a landscape designer and the property committee landscape group. Hopefully that will happen next year in the spring, maybe into the summer of next year, but definitely they do have plans, and it will be working on the frontage on Cedar, the frontage on Spruce, and then also some of the interior spaces that we have over here. One of the other things that we are, working on is we will have new portable, some of these pews will be taken away, and we'll have seating. So we'll have flexible seating, which was one of the items that we wanted to do in the capital campaign. But other than that, I think we're pretty much there. And I think there are so many people that have worked on this project, from the contractors, WCI, to the architects, HY, and then all of you, and the property committee. Ann Myers is sitting here, but we have Martin Ortega, Khaki Logan, Ed Sinek, myself, Phil, Grace Tellex as the senior warden has been helping us for the last couple of years at that. But we will hopefully wind this all up next year. So, thank you.
That's the punch walk that happened this week on, Jim, it's not you, it's me. This is why you never trust a priest with a mute button. If you see little pieces of blue tape, that's the last little things that are just going to be finished up in the next couple of weeks. Some painting, some finished carpentry, etc. And so that is the last wrap of that. The pews that Patrick was talking about will probably be the last 2 rows back there, and they will be repurposed into our new organ console up there. The organ builder is almost all of the work that he's doing is with repurposed wood, so that all the pieces you'll see in the swell box back there will all be things that he has found in other builds, and that's what he'll be doing with the pews here. We'll be repurposing them into a new console there. Okay, so Patrick has shepherded the process of getting all these projects done. Richard Lynch has shepherded the process of bringing in the funds to be able to pay for it. Richard, could you give us an update there?
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm Richard Lynch, and with Maryland Flood, we've spent almost 3 years raising money for Living Waters, and it's gone remarkably well. Overall, we have $3.9 million in commitments, and we've had over $30,000 in overpayments on people's pledges, and so we have $78,000 outstanding in commitments at this point. We think we are likely to collect $68,000 of that, which will run probably through April and then wrap up. So when all's said and done, it seems most likely that we will have collected more in revenue than we had committed initially, which never happens. We will end up collecting, yes. We'll end up collecting $3,966,915. And I think our initial success goal for this capital campaign was raising $1.5 million. And so the generosity of this community and the sustained enthusiasm for this work has really been astonishing and leaves us within a hair's breadth of $4 million to do this work. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Kurt. The elevator. The details of the elevator, how many people or wheelchairs could fit in. Patrick, do you have that? 2 wheelchairs? In concert.
What's that? Yeah, so this should have 2 wheelchairs and somebody pushing the wheelchair. So you and Emily and folks with you will be able to fit. Phil, would you like me to go down and turn it on? Do you, you're taking, that's a bold step there, Charlie. Go for it. All right. Man, this is exciting. We'll find out presently. Yeah. So long story short, it's like taking your car to the mechanic. It's been working great when the Otis elevator tech was here, going up and down, and then when they leave and we try it later, it's been not working as anticipated. So it's still got some things to work out.
About the elevator, you said it does go up and down.
Up and down. Yeah. Yeah, for a while when it wasn't going up or down, it was still showing advertisements on a screen in it. So we've got that going for us.
Sharon, you had a question?
What happens if you're stuck in the elevator and nobody's around here?
Oh, yes. So here, well, Charlie just left. But the good news is it's got an elevator call button that has a dedicated telephone line attached to it. So, oh, look at that. It's lit. This is exciting. So you would, you press that button. So like a few weekends ago when it wasn't working, Charlie was kind enough to come down and see what was happening, and he pressed the button, and it goes directly to an operator. And she said, well, do you have an emergency? He said, no, it's not working. She said, well, I'm the wrong person for that. I'm the person you call if there's an emergency and you need to get out.
Yes, but that belongs to the elevator owner, the company, correct?
Otis, yes.
Yeah, it goes directly to the company.
Yep, exactly.
Of that $3.9 billion, does that include the Isaiah project, or is that on top of it?
That's before the Isaiah project. That's before the Isaiah project. So we end up having, my math is slow, but 4.5 something overall, and then the Isaiah project itself brings it down, right? Right, 550 from the Jordan, and yeah, so our total, I guess, was 4.1 to spend on the construction and 400 for Isaiah. Rounded a little bit, but yeah. Any other questions? I could talk about the organ if you'd like for just a moment. The initial contract for the organ was $150,000, and we had pledges for $131,000. And that's a lot of money, but especially after Living Waters and in between regular pledge campaigns, that seems striking to me. And so the well, yeah. And so the vestry ended up needing to commit only $18,000 from strategic reserve accounts to be able to fund the installation of the organ. The organ will be under construction for a bit. I think they're looking, well, it'll be done before Holy Week. And the parish hall will be done before Holy Week, we think. Oh, I forgot about seismic. Yeah. Oh, okay, well, it's sliding right here. And the other thing I forgot is the seismic work. And so we received an amazingly generous gift of $800,000 to do the seismic work back in September, I think it was. No, earlier than that. Anyway, and we that was to cover the re-roofing of this space and the parish hall, and then to try to figure out how to do the seismic upgrades in the parish hall and here. We spent $236,000 doing the roof. That left us a balance of $564,000. After all of the back and forth with WCI to do the other seismic upgrades, we needed to that budget was $828,000. So $564 from the initial gift left us $263 to fill. The vestries decided to spend $163 of that from strategic reserves. $95,000 of that is from recent bequests and estate gifts that we've received. Depending on how the contingency goes, there'll need to be another $100,000 spent to finish the seismic work. The thing the thing that clarifies this for me is that even after all of this money is self-funded from All Souls' current reserves, we'll still have 6 months of reserves in the bank without any call on it, unrestricted funds that can be used to meet whatever comes up. Additionally, once that space is upgraded, it'll be much more marketable as a preschool than it is now. Certainly, the initial story of that was that the UC was interested in renting that space and required it to be I think it's actually level 4 seismic upgrade. And so that was part of our inspiration for doing it. UC is now not an option. They are not able to move forward with that project. But the Heart's Leap preschool that was there was also asking questions about the seismic stability. So it's the seismic project will be a benefit for all of us just walking around in here, because if the earthquake is, 2 hours ago, we could have a problem. But it will be much easier to rent this preschool space. And we've started to reach out to other people who might be interested in the space besides UC, and hopefully that project should also be done before Easter. And so, no, the parish hall will be done before Easter. The project itself will be finished in maybe June, in plenty of time for us to get a new tenant in for the start of the next school year. The ability for us to generate revenue from the preschool space will be really important. We have been without that for the last 2 years, meeting the budget overwhelmingly with pledges, and that's been great, but it will give us the opportunity to reset that financial background, and so getting that space rented will be a big project in this, coming up in the next few months to actually come to fruition, hopefully in July or August. So, yes, ma'am, Sharon. Sharon's question is seismic requirement for any school in California? I don't know specifically about that, but certainly it's something that Right. It was certainly in the conversation with Heart Sleep, and we would sort of say, well, it is what it is, and they would sort of move along. But now we can advertise the fact that it's going to be level 4, I think, is the designation, which is the same level as hospitals and other institutions that need to stay up and running after an earthquake. So, school, yes, you would hope. Right. Ann, yes, perfect. It's not resting, it's batoning.
Hi, I'm Ann Myers, and I am the lead on the seismic project because we don't like to be boring here at All Souls. We just go from project to project. But this should be the last biggie. So we've been told. So we will be a little displaced during some of this. Seismic is due to start January 5th next year. And so that means that the parish hall will be out of bounds again. So feast your eyes on it over Christmas and it'll come back. And that really is kind of the big spot because all of the work is going to be done interiorly. So walls will partially come down and plywood will go up. Anybody who lives in the Bay Area knows the word seismic retrofit. And that's what we're going to do. So all 4 walls in the parish hall will be strengthened. And these columns in here are getting bolted, big long bolts into other areas, but they're doing it outside, except for I think that corner down there, outside you can't do, so that will be disturbed a little bit. The parish hall is due to be down from January 5th until the beginning of April, which is coincidentally when Holy Week starts. Easter is on the 5th. So WCI knows that that's their priority. They will also, of course, be doing seismic shear wall retrofitting down in the Heart Sleep area. So all of those walls will be retrofitted as well. So it's a shame to lose the parish hall just as soon as we got it done, but it's the way, that's just how it is. The kitchen, the wall between the parish hall and the kitchen is going to get retrofitted. However, fortunately, we do have 2 doors into that kitchen, and we will still be able to use the kitchen and the foyer and the elevator if we ever get it functioning, because you can enter the kitchen and work in there from the foyer. Let me just see if there's anything else. No, everything that's been done in the parish hall will be fine. They'll protect the floors. And, WCI did a lot of the work in there, and they don't really want to do over what they've already done if they don't have to. So the floors will be fine. All the windows will be fine. We are going to have to figure out somewhere to put those curtains, because those aren't going to stay in there. So it's a disruption. It just is. Anybody who's done seismic stuff at their own house, it's a big deal, and it takes time, and fortunately, we just have to make time for it. So anybody have any questions about the seismic? Well, a great idea that probably should have been done quite a while ago, but it's all right, we'll get it done now. So, okay.
Any other questions about either the seismic or the living waters or outstanding projects to come? Yes, so, well, we just learned that we have different understandings of what the timing is on the organ. Daniel had said that he was looking at April, which, because I was really hoping for Easter. We'll see if that happens. What has already happened is you can see in the back there, those very large pipes have been added. So that's one of the new divisions. He has also taken apart, so organs are supplied by an air blower system and a pump. And that was one of the things that we were most anxious about with our previous setup. And sure enough, when he took it apart, the glue that was holding the leathers together disintegrated. So we have now not just one, but now 2 new blowers in there that are going to supply these new divisions. He was just this last week putting in these new pipes up here, and we just finished with our structural engineer, the design for a new swell division that's going to go on the back side of that concrete beam there. It turns out that when we did the capital campaign in the year 2000, and we installed this ramp here, one of the things that you're supposed to do is to get a permit anytime you have a large, heavy object over a place where people will be walking. Well, we didn't as a congregation back in 1999, but we did contract with a structural engineer to make sure that this was safe and usable, which it is. Now we're going to get a permit for the swell division, which will go here on the back side from roughly about here over to about here, and we'll have all the pipes that will have shutters on them so that you can control the volume. And so Daniel has assured us that the pipes we have here will be up and usable for Christmas Eve. And then in the new year, we'll be building out the swell division in the back. And then I think finally we'll be building out the new console, as I said, from some of the wood from our back pews is what he's going to do. Yeah. Other questions? Pat? Yeah, so some of the windows will be blocked by that swell division. No, the pipes will be up above. The pipes will be up above, so some of those will be blocked by that swell, the new pipes. But one of the things that was true is we've had a couple of lights in the back there that have never worked since I've been here, but they make a lot of noise. And so we're going to remove those and then he'll do some lighting around the underneath of the swell box. We'll have some lighting there. Yeah.
That one pipe.
That's bending over? No, in fact. Good question. No, I actually think that is, and Daniel agrees that, so one of the projects we did as part of Living Waters was to put in a film, actually we learned a second film on the skylight. There was a film already on the skylight, but it wasn't strong enough to be able to remove enough of the heat. And so that's why that pipe is leaning us over, because after decades of having so much heat come down from the skylight, it was slowly, as you can see, listing to the left there. So I'm hoping that will also, I'm both hoping that it will get fixed, but I'm also kind of fond of seeing it there. So we'll see what happens. Okay. We will hopefully, in the next week or two, hopefully have this elevator up and running, and we'll celebrate that as one of the big pieces. As Marilyn said to me, we've been waiting for this for 25 years, so, it's another week. But hopefully that will be done. And Charlie Myers has been working really hard to adjust all of our heating systems. So if you have questions about that, we're closer and closer. The parish hall seems to be the last system to get dialed in how we'd like. But we will soon have lots and lots of control over it. Our previous system, you may remember, we had to like manually turn it on the night before. Now it'll all be programmed and supposedly one day even usable by a phone.
Yeah, one little thing with it is you'll see things that look like thermostats. Do not let that confuse you. Everything is computer controlled on a schedule. So if this needs to get out to anyone that wants to set up a meeting here. If you want to be using a space, the church office needs to know so we can schedule the heat to be on.
And the heat to be on beforehand.
Multiple hours beforehand. This
Yeah.
is a gigantic space, and it takes at least 8 to 9 hours, like, to warm up this room. I'm still trying to figure out the right amount of time.
Is that true of the chapel as well?
Chapel, I'm still figuring out, but it takes long. Well,
Charlie.
the chapel is not instantaneous. It turns, so yes, since you're all here wondering about this, I'll tell you how the building works. So there's basically 3 different kinds of heating going on. The parish hall and the day school are both on heat pumps. They're independent. They will both heat and cool. The nave here and the undercroft are both on the boiler, and there are radiators around the perimeter. Couple key things with there is that we tend to run the undercroft with all the doors closed. And if, this is just what everyone does and what the cleaning staff does, which keeps all the heat into the outside rooms and doesn't heat the hallway. So we have a move going on to open the doors when you can to let the heat distribute itself. The chapel is different because it gets its heat from the boiler, but there's a forced air system that runs over that and blows out. So the goal that we have, and I think managed to do this today, is to ramp up the heat before the service, and at 8 o'clock we turn the heat off, which will turn off the fan, or I may need to do it like 5 minutes beforehand, and then it'll be fine. That room is a very cold room. I looked at it this morning, and when we turned off the heat, the temperature dropped almost 5 degrees during the service. So we need to play with things during these cold times. And I think we'll need to work on some reasonable way to go and get comments in on things, because it's different depending on how cold it is, whether it's sunny, whatever else.
Just one note about the seismic and the use of the parish hall. So obviously we have people who use that parish hall on the regular. So far, all of both our renters and the 12-step groups who use the space gratis will be rehoused within All Souls. So the singing groups will come in here into the nave. The 12-step groups will go downstairs to the common room. And also our teaching will go down to the common room as well. So hopefully we're part of the reason why WCI was really favoring an interior option to do this work as opposed to an exterior option is that it's so much more controllable. You don't have to worry about weather because now that the roofing has been done, it should be a dry space for the winter to come. Okay, the last thing I want to say is in addition to thank you to Patrick and Kaki and Ed and Grace and Ann. Is that the folks on the property team? And Martine. And then Richard and Marilyn and Maggie, who particularly shepherded the funding of all this. As a congregation, by and large, this congregation has been really flexible. We had to flex in many different ways over the course of the last year and a half just to do Sunday. And then to do other things, whether it was going next door to Jordan Court or meeting downstairs or meeting outside or all these different ways. And we're almost there. We've made it through, I think, the most challenging parts. Remember when we were trying to make church together last September, we didn't have this space, or we had this space but not that space. We didn't have the spaces downstairs. And now with this work, we actually have room to flex with. But regardless, people have generally been really, really flexible in working with us. We've been able to make it through to today. And as Ann said, I really hope this is the last part of capital work that we have to do for a really, really long time. And so, thank you. Well done. And we'll hear more in the new year.
Thank you.